I came from a very structured background. I was a nurse in my former life. So coming into real estate was a whole different world. And it was chaos. It was working hard. I didn't feel like I was making any progress. My husband was an entrepreneur. So I remember having conversations with him and saying, well, what about the bills? These bills are here, they have to be paid. He goes, when you have money, you pay the bills. If you don't, you pay it when the money comes in. I remember early on going to our accountant. He told us we owed $25,000 in taxes. And it was like, take your breath away. Oh my gosh. And I made a pact with myself that day, this will never happen again. The first time I heard Brian Buffini speak, and he was talking about profit and loss and running the business like a business, I honestly never thought of real estate as a business. And I think that's why when I heard Brian speak, something resonated deeply within me. I remember him saying, you're probably running at about 50 to 70% expenses. And I thought, there's no way. Sure enough, that's exactly where I was. My first coach just opened up my eyes and led me down the path to getting started. She worked with me on focusing on what my strengths were, how I could incorporate those strengths into the business. It was just baby steps, it was incremental steps. I still struggled with it for a while, just getting the balance in it. There's room in our life for a successful family life, a very successful career. And whatever your passions are, for me it was running, and the passion is still there. It hasn't diminished.
You wouldn't know she's pretty much a rock star in the running world. You'd never find that out from her. She's broken over 20 world records in the last 4 or 5 years. She was chosen World Masters Athlete of the Year last year in track and field. Probably 200 national titles. Just phenomenal, really is.
I thought of life as either or. I could either have a successful family life, business life, whatever it was. So I had a conversation with Brian at one of the events in San Diego, and he said, Kathy, it's not either or, it's both and. It's a life of both and. And that was a whole new concept to me. I knew that there was more inside. I didn't know how to access it, I guess. I was ready to give up running, and Brian gave me the courage to go after it. Running has allowed my husband and I to just spend a lot more time together than we would ordinarily. He's my running coach, has always been my running coach, and we've traveled places that we would never have seen before.
New Zealand, Australia, France, Italy, Sweden, Norway, and all around the United States. It's been a great ride.
One of the great joys I have as a result of just having the systems in place is I'm able to carve out one day a week that I just spend with my granddaughter. She just brings such joy to my life. We're out on the beach, we're in the beach every day, we go for a run, we color, we paint, we go to the library, and it's just such joy, and that's what life is all about.
Until you can actually see it done by somebody, it's hard to believe it could all be done.
Business these days is great. We're on target to close over $20 million in sales volume this year, over $80 million over the past 5 years. The business continues to grow. Taxes are paid. You don't have to worry about where the income is going to come from. There's just such peace about life now. Family first, running second, business third, everything else fits in. I'm Kathy Martin, and I am living the good life.